Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Hello children and our fellow viewers. Welcome back to another exciting episode. Looking at social studies, standard 6, looking at a very interesting subtopic known as Sisal, growing in Kenya and Tanzania. Now, looking at Sisal, we need to understand when was Sisal introduced in Eastern Africa. Okay? So first, we need to understand that Sisal was introduced in Eastern Africa by the Portuguese in the year 1893. Okay? So it was first introduced by the Portuguese in 1893. So this is when the missionaries arrived in Kenya, and that's when they came and introduced the Sisal growing in Kenya and Tanzania in the year 1893. Okay, so Sisal growing in Eastern Africa is majorly grown in Kenya and Tanzania. Okay, so one thing we need to understand, it's grown for its leaves. Okay, so Sisal is grown. So you need to understand that Sisal is grown for its leaves. So Sisal is grown because of its leaves. Okay. Now another thing is that when it grows even to 30 centimeters apart from each other. It is harvested after 3 years. You need to understand that it is harvested after 3 years. Harvested after 3 years. And it could be harvested continually even up to 20 years. Okay. Now, for me here, I have a sample of a Sisal. This is not the type. There are Sisals of around 3 different types, but this type is not majorly grown for making fiber and the rest. This one is able to resist to desert-like conditions. You can see it has the needle-like leaves here. This one, they are able to prevent a lot of loss of water or evaporation. Okay. Now, this is a type of Sisal. Now, as you can see, as I fold it, okay, you're able to see that it has some fibers. You see this that I used in making of the ropes. Okay. So when I say it's grown for the leaves, these are the leaves. These are leaf. Okay. Now you can see the fiber used in making of. You can see this could make a rope. For us, you have heard of the kamba ya makonge. Okay. So you see, this could make a very nice rope when dry. Okay, it makes a very nice rope. Okay, a very nice rope. Now, let us look at the conditions. What are the conditions favorable for growing this Sisal plant? Let us look at the conditions. Okay, conditions necessary. What are the conditions favorable for growing of the Sisal tree or the Sisal plant? Now, number one, we have it's that it requires warm average temperature of around 28 degrees Celsius. So warm temperature of about 28 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't require, it's not grown in cold areas. So for one, it requires a warm temperature of around 28 degrees Celsius. Okay. Number two is that it requires rainfall. Rainfall of about 680 millimeters to around 1,200 millimeters of rainfall favorable for the growth of this sisal plant. And number 3, that it's very important, is that it's that it requires variety of soils. It doesn't have a specific type of soil, so long as the soil is well drained. Okay, so what we can talk about is about well drained soils will be favorable for the growth of the sisal plant. Okay, the other one is an altitude. Okay, altitude. Now, altitude is the height above sea level. Okay, so the altitude required here should be below. Okay, should be below 1900 meters above sea level. Okay, so the altitude, that is the height above sea level, should be below 1900 meters above sea level. Okay, and number 5 condition is that it requires plenty of sunshine while drying. Okay, so while drying requires plenty of sunshine. Okay, so it requires a lot of sunshine while drying. I say that is because of this one thing. You see this rope, like now when you touch this fiber from the plant, it's a bit wet. So when dried, it becomes dry, and it could be used as a kind of rope from the plant. Now, we look at the areas. Let us look at the areas where it's grown. In Kenya, okay? So in Kenya, why is it grown? So grown. Where is it grown? Now, this one requires areas of hot. Generally, I wouldn't say very hot, but I would say warm temperature. For example, in areas of coastal regions, the coastal regions could be grown there. The Ukambani regions, okay? So, number one area is Vipingo. This is in Kwale. Okay, Vipingo in Kwale. Those are the coastal regions that I'm talking about. So we have Mwatate. We also have in Makueni, in an area known as Doa. An area known as Doa in Makueni, yes. And also we have in Solai. Solai in Nakuru. Now, these are large-scale farmers growing their sisal. We also have the small scale, whereby we have it in Juja. Okay? We also have it in small scale, that is in Juja. It's grown in small scale. In Tanzania, let us look at the areas in Tanzania where it is grown. Okay? So number 1 should be in Tanga. We have it in Tanga. Okay? We have it in Usambara Mountains. At the Usambara Mountains. Where else we have it? Yeah? So we have it in Tanga, Usambara Mountains in Tanzania. We also have in Morogoro. I believe most of us have heard of Morogoro in Tanzania. Now, it's normally grown along the railway line. Why? It's because of the ease of transporting the sisal plant. Okay? So it's normally grown along the railway line. Okay? Now, I would like us to look at the contribution to the economy. So how has sisal contributed to the economy? How has sisal contributed to the economy? What is its contribution to the economy? Contribution to the economy. Okay? How has sisal contributed much to our economy? Or what is the importance of the sisal in the economy? Number 1, as I say, I have what here is known as rope. Okay? So number one, it's able to make ropes, mats. Okay? So used to make ropes. We have mats. Okay? So we have rope, mats. Could have baskets. Okay? That are made from the sisal. It's used to make the various items from the sisal. So number two, it's able to create employment. So people are employed in the three areas. In the sisal areas. So people are employed. It's able to create employment to people. So number two, it is able to create revenue through exportation. Okay? Through exportation creates revenue, okay, for the country. So when you export sisal, the country is able to earn money, okay. So farmers are able to also to earn money. Farmers are able to earn money from sisal growing, okay. And number five is that unproductive land is able to be used, okay, to put into good use. So productive land put into good use. So I believe you have learned the topic and you have learned very well. Thank you for your time.